Everyone who's played a Pokemon game knows that there are only 18 types. But then, one day, Mewtwo's resident psychopath had an epiphany. What if we added more? Thus, with just a bean in a dream, I began my blind playthrough of Pokemon 2 main types. And this entire playthrough was done live on my Twitch channel. Follow me on Twitch. Alpharad and his team went above and beyond for this mod. It's crazy. They could have just been done with adding the new types, but they added over 100 new moves, an expanded Pokédex that includes Pokemon up to Gen 8, some Pokemon have 3 types, and even a few surprises which I'll get to later. But for my first members, I decided to go for the Space Fairy type routes, along with the Crab type Krabby, which sounds very niche to me because there are only about 3 crabs in this whole game. The 3 perfect Pokemon that go against Roxanne's ancient type Pokemon and her boy Ugly Rock. After an easy win, Roxanne rewarded me with a badge and a lethal weapon. But questionable awards aside, let's evolve our small bean into a big bean and learn a new move, Caffeine Addiction! Whoa! That's a funny feat. Oh, it heals and raises speed! We delivered a letter to Steven and also picked up a Monkey-type Mankey, who learned a move called Monkey Moment, which to this day I have no idea what it does. Mankey wasn't on the team for long, so it didn't matter for the long haul. But Krabby, on the other hand, is pretty broken at this early point of the game, because he learns this new move called Crab Rave, which is essentially Dragon Dance, but for crabs! Just rave, this new little rave. Oh, just rave right here, raise the speed, attack the speed, and now we should be good to go. Nice rave. He has a song now, but it's not gonna matter. But oh, sturdy. Alright, just grab rave again, just raise the attack and speed. Make Mr. Crunch, I think, might be faster now. Yep, you are. He is. Yeah, Mr. Crunch is sweet-shooting his entire gym. Day 2 of the 2 main types live stream. We fought Team Aqua at Southport City, but since the story remains unchanged for the original Pokemon Emerald, I will skip as much of that as I can for this video. Especially since this was a long project to be working on. But hey, you can make the effort worth it by subscribing to the Onyx Life channel, since these are challenging videos to produce. Before, I had no idea what type my opponent's Pokemon were, meaning I had to commit to memory and trial and error to figure out what my team was strong or weak against. Thankfully, I learned that by pressing the L button, I can understand my opponent's current type and even their movesets. It doesn't tell me their weaknesses, but thank God I know that Gulpin is a Deez Nuts joke or that Breaksen is a magic furry. Decided to expand my team, I spied a wild female Riolu. Since one of my favorite animation companies was shut down by Psst, I decided to name this Riolu Yang. Until now, I was having a pretty easy time fighting through the gyms. Until Watson chose to put the fear of God in us all. I lost twice to this man because he likes to use Hype Train. How bad is Hype Train? Well, imagine if Whitney's team is entirely milkcakes and Rellot is strong against every type, and that's essentially Watson. I had to use a combination of Yawn and Pentapower just to scrape by, since Strict Beam was the only one who could clutch this fight. And by God, it doesn't get much better for me. But before we get to the demon that is Flannery, how about I show you how shocked I was to discover Wild Hole Legends on Route 113? Well, I would have, except I accidentally muted my voice on that stream because I had no idea how VOD tracks worked that day. Why do I keep doing this? I had once again lost twice against a gym leader, but Flannery was much worse than Watson. Despite being a fluffy type gym leader, 3 out of 4 for Pokemon are still fire types. Except now she likes to use Warm Hug, which as nice as it sounds to receive a Warm Hug from Flannery, it is not the case since Warm Hugs paralyze you, and not even the new evolved Kingler can help me, as most of my team was weak to fire. After the second loss, I decided to pull the big guns by evolving Maiden into the Space Fairy Gender type Gardevoir, which is especially good for fighting fire types. I mean, how can you light a fire in space? There's no air! On the 3rd day, I think we didn't have much of a difficult time. outside the shocking discovery that our dad is secretly a furry. But it's nothing Mr. Krabs can't handle as he calculates every furry within a 10-mile radius. It also helped that by this point in the game, my team had fully evolved, except sadly Yang, who I unfortunately couldn't get to like me enough to evolve. And after getting her killed 8 times, I don't blame her. So I booted her from the team, and in her place comes the silly ancient dragon-type Pokemon, Mr. Fish. Before challenging Winona, I picked up the most important Pokemon in this run.
Hey y'all, Scott here, and
Enter Scotty Was, the Ohio-type Pokemon! Who will now take Mr. Krabs' spot on the team. Okay, Mr. Krabs has been around since the beginning of the game, but trust me when I say Scott gets so good later in the run. But first, I had to fight Winona. Well, I would, but my computer was having difficulties. So we had to end the stream early, so Winona gets to dance another day. Enter day 4. It's now time to fight Winona, the dance-type gym leader, who definitely has played every dancing video game known to man. And I somehow won by complete stupidity, all because I failed to notice that Pale Dance is now a dance type until this very fight, which Winona's team is all weak to. Leaving the gym with a badge and now a free ride, I head to Mount Pier where I found my final team member, a Gun Ghost Guys type Creepy, known for being overpowered. Eventually. Thankfully, the mod team had tweaked certain Pokemon's evolutions, so my little gun dragon could reach the teenage stage immediately after defeating Brendan one final time. Just in time to sweep through the most boring part of the stream for me, but unfortunately, not enough to get through Maxie's Liquid Deez Nuts type Macargo, who nearly swept through my team. So after barely beating Maxie, it was time to do it all again with Team Aqua before I could finally cross the ocean to fight the 7th gym leader. Since this gym is entirely double battle focused, I created a devastating combo where Straight Beam attacks everyone with Pale Blizzard except for Scott, because her Sap Sipper lets her eat up grass types and get stronger. Meanwhile, Scott the Wasp further increases her strength with Wooden Tomb, which is also just Dragon Dance, before knocking him down with Rodeo, which increases Scott's speed and is super effective against Space! But not even this broken combo is enough against the 7th gym leader. Remember when I said near the beginning of the video that there are food surprises in store? Well, it's time for the first surprise as we face off against Clay, since Tay and Liza are apparently missing. Most of Clay's Pokemon weren't in any trouble, but his Duraludon won't stop shooting my mons! Saber the Aegislash was the only thing that could take a hit from this monster, and after a fight that lasted 10 whole minutes, Duraludon finally went down. It's the final day of the 2-Maytai live stream, and before I begin, I want to bring up this little filler battle between Maxie and Tabitha, just to bring up that Aggron is the only Pokemon not to get a new type. And that's both funny and sad. Now let's get to the final gym leader, Juwan, who specializes in crab type, much like my former party member, Mr. Krabs. But when all you have is a rootin' tootin' Bivalent, you might as well get the stat boost and just spam your strongest attack for an easy 8th gym badge. Now with all 8 gym badges in hand, it was finally time to climb through Victory Road for my final destination. But before that, I had to fight through Wally, the trans icon, who nearly wiped my ass off the pavement with his Scowlade. Oh yeah, and these two as well. Oh crap, he used Synchronize! He used Synchronize! Near the end of Victory Road, my dragon finally became the overpowered dragon he was meant to be. But since every gym had completely different teams in this ROM hack, I expected the same to happen with UA4. So just to be safe, I made a quick shopping trip to the Lily Code department store, which houses weapons of non-destruction, including a couple items that were exported from Paldea. Now that preparations are complete, it is time to fight through the 4 and see what surprises they have for me. Sydney, as expected from a Hoenn playthrough, is the first on the chopping block, replacing this Dark for the silly types. Most of them weren't that hard, but there was one Pokemon that proved to be very difficult. Oh crap! He got the Omni Boost, that's just cheap. The most annoying part about Cindy's Dragonfish is that his moveset is much better than mine. I eventually took it down, but this was the only Pokemon in his team I had trouble against. I felt petty, so I had my fish spam Ancient Power against Phoebe the Gamer. Still, thankfully she's not as tough as Cindy, mostly because she kept using the move 5 Nights, a 5-turn attack that damages both Pokemon with a jump scale, which was more of a danger to herself than me. Outside of type changes, Cindy and Phoebe were about the same. The same can't be said for the next 2 Elite Four members. Oh, you're Larry! Woo-hoo-hoo! Larry's one of my favorite gym leaders of all time. It did half damage. Oh, it didn't do much at all. God dang it, my entire strategy backfired. What's good against being boring again? I know what's good against boring. Gun! Oh, I could probably defeat you with just Phantom Force. Oh, he swapped. Oh, there's a Dunsparce. I'm gonna use Dragon Dance. So I think I can do good with Dragon Dance. 9 to 5. What does that do? Oh crap! What should have done, Dunsparce? That's just a funny thing. Okay. Oh shoot! And you're dead. That was the easiest of the match, of the 3. That was the easiest. Oh! Who are you? Sussy Baka? Alright, switching out to Scott the Wall. Okay, we're still good. Among Us. Let's shoot. Let's shoot furry. Yeah, that makes sense. Guns are super effective against furry. Oh, you're a Zoroark! Now just Thunderbolt one more time. What? Where is he going? Sussy Baka was ejected. With the last 2 fights out of the way, it is finally time to come face to face with Wallace, which did not go well for me. But after 2 losses, I ended up discovering the winning strategy that allowed me to win, which was to have Scott boost herself to Ruinton before crushing everything with head charge of a first soul. Just in time for Wallace's last Pokemon. But I'm an American, and like all Americans, we solve our problems by shooting them. And against all odds, I have beaten Pokemon too many times. It was a fun experience seeing what kind of crazy new types or moves this game could throw at me. But I especially loved the Ohio type because of how hard Buffalon carries the game for me. I want to thank Alpharad and the team for making this mod, and if you want to check it out yourself, then go to Alpharad's Discord to download the ROM hack. And more importantly, I wanted to thank you, the viewers, for watching this video to the very end. And if you want to see me do more crazy Pokemon ROM hacks, then be sure to subscribe, and I'll be sure to do more of them.